All right, welcome back to the Cricket Today show. We have a very special one today, welcoming a man who has been dominating for Victoria, dominating for the BBL's league-leading Renegades. He's also dominated in under-17s against our very own Leo Mullaly, social guy Leo. Fergus O'Neill, welcome, mate, and thanks for joining us on the Cricket Today show.
Hey, boys, how are you?
Very good, very good. Thanks for jumping on. Congrats on the win last night. You mentioned this before. Always good to beat the Scorchers.
Yeah, I think coming in, if you told us after 3 games we played Sixers, Hobart, Scorchers, all 3 pretty good teams, we'd be 2-1. We would have taken that and run. So great win last night, and to see some of the international boys go the way they are is even better.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The Scorchers have been the benchmark, so it's good to see the Renegades up there again. You got a wicket maiden last night to open the bowling. We'll wrap with that. I'm not sure if you heard this one. Chris Green suggested if in the Big Bash you get a maiden, you get -5 runs to the opposing team. What do you reckon about that one? Do you reckon so the Scorchers last night would have been on -5 to start the game?
That would have been nice. I'm not too opposed to that. We also had a few theories last night. Adam Zampa reckons if you hit the roof at Marvel, it should be worth 20. So Cooper hitting the roof last night was he would have made 80 odd last night. But a few things that I think could change. We've seen with the 100 in England, a lot of the boys that play that, they say they love that format, and there's obviously a few tinking. What's the word I'm looking for? Tinkers to the rule.
Yeah.
There you go. Like I'm not opposed to changing it a little bit.
Yeah, no,
I reckon that's sort of one for the bowlers would say yes to -5, but the batsmen not so much. I reckon.
Yeah,
for sure.
Actually, you go, Marcus, on the next couple.
Well, on the Big Bash, like you've had to adapt a fair bit of your bowling from bowling so many overs at Shield level. Obviously, you were I think in the top 5 wicket takers there for a little bit. But now being in the 2020 format, how much do you change your bowling when you're going in? Like your mindset, is it just more bowling a lot of change ups or?
Yeah, I think it's still pretty similar. I got a lucky kind of role to bowl at the top with the new ball. So, you only have 2 out and they're coming after you. But I feel like what I'm trying to bowl is pretty similar, which helps a little bit. It's the transition hasn't been too different. I just think there's no real warm-up balls. You can bowl your first over or 2 and they leave a few through to the keeper, and in the Big Bash they're getting lasered to the boundary, and then you're playing catch-up. Also playing in front of, I don't know, the first 2 or 3 crowds have been maybe 20,000, 15,000 versus 6 people at a Shield game. So that's a little bit different. Playing under lights a little bit different. The ball's coming off the bat a lot harder. You're not fielding in the slips or in the gully. You're fielding on the boundary, etc. So there's all those little things to adapt with. But from a bowling point of view, there's not too much. I still feel like a good ball hitting the top of the stumps, whether that's a change-up or on speed, is still a good ball.
Yeah. Do you feel like the recovery's a little bit easier? Obviously, only have to bowl 4 overs. Do you feel a bit fresher after a Big Bash game than a Shield game as well?
Yeah, a lot fresher. It's great. It's 4 overs instead of 40 overs is usually what I'm bowling, so it's good. But I think the intensity level goes up a massive notch. So, there's a bit of that in it as well. And flying all the time, fly, play, that kind of stuff takes a bit of a toll on you. And I feel like in the Big Bash you can get into a bit of a party mode and celebrate pretty hard, win, lose or draw. So obviously over the festive season, so that you got to take that into account as well. Probably be a bit better behaved in that regard.
Yeah, nice.
We saw the ground was in pretty ordinary nick last night. Do you have to change your approach when you're bowling there as well? Just how it's a little bit slower in the outfield?
Yeah, I think
not so much.
Well, we kind of tried to embrace it. We were calling it our swamp. So we tried to embrace the ground as much as we could, and we knew what we were going to get from it. There was an RMIT thing there about 2 days ago. I think 60,000 people rolled through there. They had motocross on it. They got concerts and all sorts. So we know the first couple of games we play there aren't going to be probably to the standard that we want it to be, the outfield. But, it's the same for both sides, and I think... Yeah. We almost use it as a bit of an advantage. Optus is a pure wicket, beautiful outfield, and they're coming to our swamp where it's shocking. So
I love that.
We embraced it, and it's going to get better. Last night was not ideal, but that's what it was, and I think we adapted well, and it will get better.
Yeah, still got a good game of cricket out of it in the end as well.
Yeah, exactly, it was great.
Good. We've sort of had a little bit of a joke here. We think the Renegades are a bit like the Hokball in the AFL, a bit of Hawthorn. There's a lot of young vibes around the team, plenty of young guns in that team, and it's so exciting. Probably the most exciting team in the Big Bash. But what's the relationship like in the change rooms with you and the other young guys on the rise? How are the vibes? Are we going to see any selfies after the game after a win on the ground?
Yeah, well, no, I think that's probably a pretty good comparison. We might not bring the selfies and the carry on like that, but we certainly have a lot of fun. You know, Will Sutherland, young captain of both Victoria and the Renegades, great leader of men, and then you got. We were actually thinking about it last night. You know, Rooster. Jake Fraser-McGurk's arguably the best young player in Australia at 22 years old. Jacob Bethell was arguably the best young player in England at 21 years old. Then I'm 23, Macca Harvey's 23. Who else is there? We got good young side, and then filtered in with, Harry Dixon coming through. I'm sure he might play a role at some stage, and Callum Stowe, all these young guys, and then we've filtered in, Laurie Evans, the grandpa at 37, and Zampa and Richo, a bit older, and we got great kind of mix, I feel, but we all like to have fun, and I think the comparison to Hokball's not too far off.
Who's in control of the music there? Is it the older guys or the younger guys?
Surely the younger guys,
yeah.
or something like that.
It's actually Beth's come in. I don't know if you know much about Beth, and he's he bought in this big boombox about that big, and he's he's playing all of his music from back home. He's from Barbados, so we're listening to all this.
That's right.
Very nice.
Bajan music. I'm actually I'm almost fluent in half of his songs at the moment. It's pretty good. We're just cruising around, try and play whatever we can. The old boys kick up a stink a little bit. Bucky Rogers, not a big fan. He wants Morgan Wallen and the country stuff on, but
yes. What do you lean towards usually?
I'm quite enjoying Beth's stuff at the moment. So
there you go.
Bit of Bajan music at the moment. I'm enjoying it.
I was not expecting that. That's very funny. You sort of said a few nicknames. You got the Rooster, you got the Chief. Do you have any nicknames yourself in the Victorian camp or the Renegades camp, or any through juniors or anything like that we might not have heard of?
No, I'm quite, boys call me Brownless because when I used to be a tradie and we used to listen to the Rush Hour, and I used to love Billy Brownless, so I used to quote him a lot. And Marcus Harris, who's also at the Renegades, who's stiff not to be playing for Australia, I might add that. He started with the Brownless chat, and then ever since then I've been called Brownless. So that's
Brownless. There
we
we
know who Tom from Barwon Heads is.
Is he Tom from Barwon Heads?
Shocker.
Oh, that's great. Is there any other good nicknames at the Gades that we might not have heard of, you reckon?
I'm trying to think at the moment.
There is some good ones. You got the Rooster.
We got Rooster. We got Chief. I call Macca Harvey Mac Daddy, but
that's pretty solid.
A few others I'm trying to think of.
That's all right.
No, that's all right. Like,
yeah, I can't think of them all, to be honest, but I'll try and make some up by the time BBL's done.
I like it.
Yeah, do you have a cricket ick at all? Like mine's when the tail come in a bat and then they make it, the game's already done, but they make you stay an extra hour and a half just trying to get them out.
That's a good one.
Is there any that gets on your skin?
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like when you bat first and the other team bowl first and you don't say anything because you got to bat again afterwards, and then when you come into bat they're absolutely sledging you
100%,
because they know that they don't have to face it again. We don't really have anyone that's bowling super express, but even so, like nothing annoys me more. In club cricket though, like when you could bat 12, you could play 12, and like the bloke that's batting 12 and doesn't have to bat is just carrying on and sledging and going, can't stand that.
Yeah, no, that is a good one. My ones are when they appeal for something that's clearly not out, or they've just appealed over appeal. I hate that when it's clearly come off a pad or something like that.
Yeah, there's plenty of that going on.
The other team brings in a poor lunch.
Poor lunch. Yeah.
Actually, that's a good one for this. Well, it is for BBL and state cricket now. Sydney Sixers, after beating us round one, served us cold food after the games. It was
how rude.
Tasmania in the Shield cricket dish up 4 days worth of Barwon prison slop.
You wouldn't expect much more from
Yeah, they're shocking. And then at the MCG, we've got bloody 8 Bay Maries, whatever you want, chicken,
Beautiful.
lamb, all sorts. Jimmy the chef's on the heater there, so it doesn't feel fair. It doesn't feel fair when we dish that up and get the slop in return.
Yeah, you're playing over in England. You'll probably they have some good RVTs over in county cricket. I've heard they'll be all right. Probably a bit of tea and scones or something like that.
Yeah, I've heard that Kent is the one. I'm not playing against Kent, but I've heard Kent is the one that you want to play against. They got all these little chefs rolling around. I am excited for that, to be honest.
Yeah, beautiful. Just another little random one. Yeah, we're trying to get less serious as we go along here. I've seen and heard that you play a bit of golf. I heard that you played in the prestigious Plumbers Golf Day at Riverside recently. So I got told some people play in the Pro-Ams and you're playing at the Riverside. How'd you go there? And do you like playing a bit of golf?
Yeah, I do like to play a lot of golf. I'm a member at Medway, which is kind of like
beautiful,
here. I've played with your dad a couple of times before, Liam.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
But I played in the Plumbers, the annual Plumbers Day. We come second. I played with a bloke that was, I forget his name. I think it was Pete. He would have been about 70 years old and hit it at about 52 metres. I carried him for the 9 holes and he just come up short for second. But no, it's good fun.
Filthy.
I quite like just golf, take your mind off it, hit the ball and have a few beers. There's nothing better than that.
No, absolutely. Is there what's the best course you would have played at? Have you played a few with some of the other boys or?
Yeah, I played plenty of nice ones. Royal Melbourne, Kingston East, Peninsula Kingswood. I got to play Capital, which is a lovely course.
Oh, wow.
Cathedral. Played a couple of nice ones in New South Wales. I played Bonville and Coffs Harbour. That's a nice one. Barley National in Barley.
Oh, I've seen that. You get a caddy and stuff, right?
Yeah, that's great fun. And it's about 52 degrees. You have 33 beers on the 18 holes. It was great.
Perfect. And then the last one on that golf sort of vibe is, which is the best cricketer that you've played golf with? A lot of people say Maxi, or I've seen Sam Harper's all right as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's good. John Holland. Don't know if you guys.
Oh, really?
Remember John Holland?
Yeah. Off spinner.
He'd be off +1 or +2 at Peninsula Kingswood. So he's a star.
There you go.
I'm yet to play with Laurie Evans, who's off +2 also. So I've heard he's the man. We'll wait and see. I'll play with him shortly, I'm sure.
Yeah, beautiful. All right. This is a bit of a different one. We do this on the socials a little bit. Are you familiar with like blind rankings and things like that? Where we sort of give you 5. Where we're going to give you 5 teammates. You can rank this however you like. If it's on golfing ability, if it's on being a good bloke, if it's on cricket ability. But I'm going to give you 5 of your teammates, and I want you to put a 1 to 5. Is that all right, mate?
Okay. And what do you want it to be? Anything?
Anything you want. It may be cricket or just on the vibes or whatever you like. All right. So first one we got is Chief Sutherland.
5.
5. All right. Bang. We got Zampa.
2.
2. All right. The Rooster, Jake Fraser-McGurk.
3.
Joshy Brown, new one.
4.
And then you've done pretty well here. We're finished off with Fergus O'Neill.
1.
There we go.
That was the ranking for best looking at the Renegades.
Beautiful. You've done. How good is that? I reckon that's a good way to wrap up. What do you reckon, Marcus? That was good fun.
Sure.
I think that's it. Thank you very much, Ferg, for jumping on. Have an awesome Christmas. You got some big plans for Christmas ahead? Bit of backyard cricket, possibly?
Yeah, just cruising around, I think. Try and enjoy myself. We've got a nice little 6-7 day break. So a few beers, beautiful. Relax, and then up to Sydney on the 29th.
Awesome. Thank you very much for jumping on, mate.
Very
excited to... Awesome. Excited to watch you and the Gays during this big bash. Thank you very much, Marcus. And that's another episode of the Cricket Today done. We're out.